Hey everybody, just thought I'd make a YouTube video on how to get the wood, the stock, and the buttstock and the foregrip off of a Fausti Traditions Field Hunter over-under shotgun. Seen so many videos, I figured it was time to give back a little bit, so I'm going to try to make this short and sweet. I'm not going to make you watch me unscrew every screw, so pay attention. All right. First thing you have to do is take off the foregrip. Okay? Now there's some hardware on it too, right here. Okay, and under here. All right, this is the little piece that goes underneath, right there. Okay, and you're gonna pull while it's still attached, because everything's all disassembled already. But you're gonna take this little lever and pull it up. Okay, and you kind of have to pull on it hard. Okay, it didn't feel real comfortable, but it has to be fully extended to get the foregrip off. But once it's fully extended, you'll be able to pull the foregrip off. Now the gun won't disassemble unless you get that foregrip off first. Okay. Now while we're on the foregrip, we'll talk a little bit about the hardware real quick. Okay, there's a couple of pieces. There's a piece that goes in the front, okay, that matches right there, kind of slides in this way, and it's got some screw holes right here and right here. It's a Phillips head, two Phillips head screws. You got to pull them out. Okay, now this piece will slide apart, but there are a couple of screws that have to be removed. There's a screw here that attaches it to this piece. It's a separate piece. Okay, and then there's a maybe I'm doing that wrong. But one piece attaches to the other piece, and the other piece goes into the wood. Okay, so you have to separate these two pieces. They come apart and slide out pretty easily. The piece that goes in here, this one is real snug in the wood. You don't really want to force it. Just tap it out gently, and it'll come out. You want to be careful because there's a little thin piece of wood right here that looks like it could easily break if you're not careful. And I noted that all these screws, when I took them out, none of them were in real tight. It looks like they were all just kind of hand tightened, so I imagine that's what the factory wanted. You don't really want to go crazy on these because a lot of these screws go into wood. But anyways, okay, the next step is you're going to separate the gun. This is the top of the gun. Here, you're going to flip this off to the right, and the barrel will break, and it'll just come apart at that point. All right. What I really wanted to do was get all the hardware off these things. So the next thing I had to do to get this disconnected from the stock, since there weren't any visible screws on the outside, screws or anything attaching this piece of hardware to the stock, I figured it had to be inside the buttstock, which ended up being correct. So you're gonna have to see there's these two holes here where you're gonna put your Phillips head screwdriver in. You want sort of a broader head, because I tried to use some skinnier heads and they felt like they were going to strip the tops out. So I just used my screw gun with a kind of a broader head on it there, not too big, but and I felt like I just had a little more control. I could put a little more pressure down on the gun as not to strip the Phillips heads. So after you take this pad off, you look down the gun, and you can see there's a hole down there. There we go, and that's where your bolt is going to be. Okay. Now this is what's down there. This thing that's down on the top, and I used a 10mm socket. Okay, with an extension, because it's pretty long. You have to go all the way from here all the way up to about here. So you need a long extension to get that sucker out. And again, it wasn't real tight. It just took a couple quick turns to get that thing loose. I wouldn't suggest over tightening this stuff. Okay, just snug is good enough. So that's pretty much it. And I was happy because I kind of was wondering if I pulled this thing out, if parts weren't going to go flying everywhere, and they didn't. It's nice. All the hardware is nice and contained. It's a good time to hit it with with maybe a toothbrush and some gun oil or something. But while you have it out, it's not a bad idea to clean it up. Didn't really appear to be very dirty. I don't know if it's exposed to that much gas or anything, but anyways, it's worthwhile to do so. So that's it. Short and sweet.